Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Wilder versus Breazeale media conference call. Your host for today, Kelly Swanson, will now begin.
Okay, thank you so much, operator. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We have an exciting fight to talk about, certainly one of the biggest fights of the year, and we're talking heavyweights and heavyweight action. It's Wilder versus Breazeale, which is Saturday, May 18th, live on Showtime. It's the heavyweight championship of the world. It is at Barclays Center, the home of Brooklyn Boxing, and it's presented by Premier Boxing Championships. Tickets are Bomb Squad event are available through Ticketmaster at barclayscenter.com and American Express box office at Barclays Center. And we're going to get started right away. Thanks for being patient with us. And I'm going to introduce Stephen Espinoza at this time, President of Sports and Event Programming for Showtime Networks, to make introductory comments. Stephen?
Thanks very much, Kelly. We are thrilled to be presenting Wilder versus Breazeale on Showtime a week from Saturday. Before we get there, we are committed to this fight as if it were a pay-per-view, because we believe that that's where Deontay is in his career, and this is the level of promotion that a fight of this caliber deserves. So we will be premiering All Access Wilder versus Breazeale tomorrow, Friday, May 10th at 10 p.m. Following that will be a three-fight Showbox telecast featuring Ruben Villa in the main event. And those of you who know me know that I'm also a hip-hop music fan, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Wu-Tang documentary of Mics and Men that's premiering tomorrow. So it's a big lineup tomorrow night on Showtime. 9 p.m. is the Wu-Tang documentary, followed by All Access Wilder Breazeale at 10 p.m. and then Showbox at 10:30. Next week, All Access will be active all week long on a daily basis, debuting new short-form episodes every day during fight week. Then we get to the fight itself. Look, I'm not going to give you too much about this. When you have two 6'7" heavyweights with a combined 90% knockout ratio, you really don't have to sell too much on this one. Since 2015, Showtime has featured 14 heavyweight world title fights, or rather this will be the 14th. We are happy to see the resurgence of the heavyweight division. We're proud for our role in it. No one else, no other network has been as committed to the heavyweight division, and no other network has done more to bring about this resurgence. So we are thrilled to be seeing the heavyweights back on this massive stage once again. As I mentioned, combined record of these two fighters, 60 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 57 KOs. That is an over 90% knockout rate. Deontay Wilder, obviously, he's coming off two of his possibly most exciting and certainly career-defining performances. Fight of the year caliber fight against Luis Ortiz in March of 2018, and then his pay-per-view debut against Tyson Fury. And those were two of the most exciting heavyweight fights that we've seen in quite some time. In Dominic Breazeale, he has Wilder will be facing a tall, strong, experienced, and very motivated opponent. At 6'7", Dominic is one of the few heavyweights in the division that looks eye to eye with Deontay. So that will be a different experience. 18 KO victories in 21 professional fights. He has been on the world stage before, taking on Anthony Joshua in the UK. And it's no secret that there's a personal rivalry between these two guys. So there is no shortage of motivation. All in all, we're looking forward to this three-fight card. Again, All Access will kick it off tomorrow night, 10 p.m., followed by Showbox, and we will see all of you a week from Saturday in Brooklyn. Kelly?
Thanks, Stephen. And yes, now we are going to turn to Trouble himself, Dominic Trouble Breazeale. He's 20-1, as Stephen mentioned, with 18 knockouts. He's a WBC mandatory challenger. He's a 2012 U.S. Olympian from Glendale, California. And for this fight, it's his first fight training with Virgil Hunter, the famed Virgil Hunter, in the Bay Area. He previously challenged Anthony Joshua for the heavyweight title in 2016 and has won his last 3 fights by knockout. So without further ado, we'd love to hear from you, Dominic, and if you'd like to make opening comments before we open it up to the press, and just let us know how training's going and your thoughts on the fight a week from Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing this afternoon? Camp has been great up here in the Bay Area. Virgil Hunter's done a great job of, performing and putting things in, implementing things from my game plan going into this fight May 18th. Definitely excited to be fighting on the world stage again for the WBC title. May 18th is going to be the next explosive night. You got 2 knockout artists, 2 big 6'7", 250-pound guys. I'm super excited to be involved with the event. I'm super excited to get a big KO win May 18th. Like I said, the body feels great. Camp has gone up and beyond what I expected it to be. I'm super ready. I can't wait to get on this plane, get to New York, and get this started.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that, Operator. Let's go ahead and open it up to the media for questions for Dominic.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And I'm waiting for callers to join the queue at this present time. Our first question is going to come from Robert Morales from the Los Angeles Daily News. Please go ahead.
Hey, Dominic, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, Robert. How about yourself?
I'm okay, brother. Hey, I just have a couple of quick ones for you. Deontay Wilder has turned out to be a pretty good heavyweight champion. What makes you think you can beat him?
Your opinion on him being a pretty good heavyweight champion, that's your opinion alone. I don't think anybody else agrees with you on that one. But I don't see any fundamental skills. I don't see any success in his part. He's been champ for about 4 years. He hasn't grown. He hasn't changed. Yeah, he's got a big right hand, but don't we all in the heavyweight division, we all have knockout power. So I think I'm walking into a fight where I'm the more skilled, more athletic, and bigger, stronger guy.
All right. Well, fair enough. One more thing, Dom. You're training with Virgil Hunter now. What has he brought to the table for you?
A little bit of everything, man. I don't see how I've come this far in my career. 10 years of boxing now, and having learned some of the fundamental basics that he restructured me and got me back to. Yeah, they've always been there because I've had some great amateur training and some great young pro experience. But he was able to bring a lot more out in my fundamentals as far as the way I use my jab and how I use it, and other things that we plan on using in our game plan May 18th.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks, Robert.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Raffia from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Hey, Dominic.
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I heard you say you were looking forward to having a big knockout in this fight. My question for you is, you have a lot of knockouts, as Steven Espinoza mentioned in your record, but how badly would you like a knockout in this specific fight, given all the animosity that's been going on between yourself and Wilder that stems back from your issues a couple years ago in Birmingham?
Going in every fight is probably the biggest fight of your life, and I'm always looking for a huge knockout, something to impress the fans and impress the boxing community. At the same time, I'm never looking for it. I'm never trying to search and try too hard to get the knockout. I always just let it come. But this one, it's going to be a lot better success. It's going to be a lot better sweep in May 18th, the night after I win the title, if I get a knockout. No, don't get me wrong. A win's a win, but at the same time, I want to impress the world. I want to impress the boxing community, and a big knockout. When I say big knockout, one where my right hand and my left hand, makes contact and he goes out, doesn't get back up.
So I understand that would be big, obviously, just in the sense of how big the fight would be as far as winning the title and all. But just from a personal satisfaction standpoint, again, because of, I've as long as I've watched you fight your whole career, I've not known Dominic Breazeale to really have any particular animosity with his opponents. It's a job, it's what you do. Obviously, it's a little different with Wilder. So what would be the personal satisfaction of that, besides just the great accomplishment to win the heavyweight belt?
Definitely the personal things on the outside of the ring, the revenge, the fact that you approached myself and my wife and kids in a situation that was not boxing related. The gratification and the fact that I get my personal revenge knocking out Deontay Wilder is a lot bigger than just an actual win or KO or any other given night.
So in your one loss, which was the fight for the title, for the other title against Joshua back in 2016. I know you've won 3 fights by knockout in a row against some solid opposition. But in the fight against AJ, you did get knocked down 2 times and stopped in the 7th round. I think a lot of people, punch for punch, would regard Deontay as a bigger puncher for one shot than Joshua. So I guess the question is, how do you think that you can stand up to his right hand if Joshua was able to get you?
I think, I've grown a lot in the last 2 years as a fighter. The Joshua fight was an eye-opener. It was a good experience. I learned then that I was standing there a lot more and taking some damage that I didn't need to take as the big guy that I am. We are, like I said earlier, Wilder's got a big right hand, but so do I, and I've got a big left hook. This is the heavyweight division. If you don't got knockout power, you got no reason to be in this division. Wilder's going to throw some leather. He's going to make some contact. Yeah, by all means. It's boxing. It's all about hitting and not getting hit. I don't plan on getting hit a lot May 18th, and if I do, I've been there and I've done that before. But at the same time, I plan on putting on all the punishment, and if the right hand comes, so be it. I got to deal with it. It's part of boxing.
All right, I just have one more question for you. I know this is your opportunity to once again fight for the title. If you talk to boxing fans out there, they look at the heavyweight division sort of deep at the moment compared to what it's been, but they pretty much look at Joshua and Wilder with the hardware, and also Tyson Fury with the draw against Wilder plus being the lineal champion, and they're sort of like the 3 at the top, and a lot of good guys right behind them, yourself included. But they want to see those 3 guys fight. Obviously, you have the opportunity to sort of upset that possibilities. But what do you say to the boxing public that is like, nothing against Dominic Breazeale, nothing against Andy Ruiz, who's going to fight Joshua in a couple of weeks, or against Tom Schwartz, who's fighting Fury, but we want to see these guys fight each other. What is your statement on that as far as the way that people look at the heavyweight division right now?
I don't disagree with the boxing fans, only because I'm a boxing fan myself. Of course, you always want to see the title holders or the best of the best fight each other. But right now, I think those 5 names that you mentioned, myself, Andy Ruiz, Tyson Fury, Wilder, and Joshua, we are the top of the division, and the fans are getting what they want to see. They're getting explosive heavyweight fights. When I fight Wilder May 18th, it's not going to be a snowfest. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be, a big punch after big punch, and the same with Joshua and Andy Ruiz. I'm excited to be part of the division. I'm excited to be where I am now standing. I'm also super excited to be the spoiler, man. Wilder's had one hell of a deal on the table with whatever he was working with Joshua, and I think he should have taken, because come May 18th, man, I'm going to ruin everything. And not that I'm going to put my name in that hat with Joshua, but I definitely want my revenge against Joshua as well. So we're going to mix some things up here in the near future. My way to do that is to get my WBC title, and that's what I plan on doing.
All right, very good. Dominic, thank you very much for that, and I appreciate it, and I wish you good luck on the fight.
Thanks, Dan. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from Fightful News. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Hi, Dominic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well. Can't complain. My first question is, after the fight against Eric Molina back in 2017, you were kind of inactive for a year, and you just returned to the ring against Carlos Negron late last year. Do you feel that fight against Carlos might have shook some ring rust and maybe helped you prepare for the fight against Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, I think definitely. Anytime you have a little bit of a layoff, there's a little bit of ring rust, and you don't, of course, feel it until fight night itself. But I'm glad I was able to get in there December 22nd, do what I did against Carlos Negron. I'm happy to be getting back in the ring as soon as I am now for the WBC title shot. There wasn't a long layoff between me getting out of the ring December 22nd, taking a couple of days off for Christmas and New Year's, and getting right back into the gym in January. So I think, like I said earlier, I've had a great camp. I've had a lot less layoff than usual in the past, and all cylinders are firing.
During that time between the Molina fight and the Carlos Negron fight, I mean, was it tough having to wait, essentially more than a year before you knew you would get that opportunity to face Deontay, since you did win a title eliminator against Molina a couple of years back?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I won the WBC title eliminator against Carlos Molina, and then to be told that, it's going to be sometimes 6 months, 7 months, which turned into, I think, about almost a year. That was very tough, because I'm one of those guys that stays in the gym, whether I'm sparring, every other day or sparring once a week. I'm always in the gym and I'm always working. Sometimes that can take a toll on you. But fortunately, in my favor, it worked out great. I got another fight against Carlos Negron and defended the WBC mandatory, and here I am, year and a half later, getting ready to fight for the world title. So in a sense, it kept me motivated. It kept me working.
Lastly, I mean, I know you mentioned about Deontay Wilder's, I guess, lack of fundamentals from your eyes. What did you think of Deontay's performance against Tyson Fury? Did watching that fight kind of give you a better idea of what you need to do to beat Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, definitely. It gave me some better things to focus in on and to hone in on. At the same time, I think just to put my peace of mind, I believe I was there in person. I thought Fury won that fight. I know he got knocked down a couple times, but as far as the boxing, world looks at it and the way you score a boxing match, Tyson Fury outboxed Wilder that night and won that fight. But Fury did some good things. He did some great head movements. He did some great defensive tactics as well as counterpunching. On the other hand, Wilder did the same thing over and over like he's done in his last 4 or 5 fights for his last 4 or 5 years. Is throw the 1-2 and hopefully hope and pray that right hand lands eventually. So there was some things that I learned from the fight as well as some things that I continuously seen over and over and time again.
Thanks, Dominic, and best of luck on May 18th.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Our next question is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from thesweetscience.com. Please go ahead.
Dominic, I think everyone knows that you have a football background, quarterback at University of Northern Colorado. When Mr. King with King World sounded you out about his idea of finding athletes, great athletes in other sports, to become heavyweights, maybe go to the Olympics, you obviously are the primary beneficiary and top person for that to happen. What were your thoughts when you got shouted out for that? I mean, was that something out of the blue, and had you ever considered anything like that before?
Yeah. We're going back to the Michael King days and All-American heavyweights. When the idea first came across on a phone call, the gentleman that called me, Joe Onowar, which is the recruiter at the time, I completely told him he was crazy. There was no way in hell that I was going to pick up boxing at 23 years old after I'd done football, basketball, track, baseball, hockey, wrestling, all that as a kid, never stepped foot into a boxing gym. Then you want me just to pick up a sport at 23 years old when I was at the end of at the time I thought I was at the end of my athletic career. It was honestly, at the time I thought it was just a dumb idea. But 3 months into it, after I had my first amateur fight, and 18 months later when I became a 2012 U.S. Olympian, and now 10 months later, 10 years later, now I'm fighting for WC World Title. I think Michael King was the smartest man on the planet. For me to be the one that came out, as you say, the man on top of 3,100 athletes that came through the door. I feel like the idea of turning Division I athlete into a professional boxer was crazy then, 10 years ago, but now I think it's a great, phenomenal idea.
Hey, for whatever reason, athletes, great athletes in other sports, get this idea in their heads that, hey, I can be a boxer. And then I'm not just talking about football players like Mark Gastineau and Too Tall Jones that tried it with, not as much success, obviously, as you've had. Even Jim Brown thought that with a couple of months of training that he could fight Muhammad Ali. Why is it that football players have this idea that, hey, if I'm good at football, I can be just as good at boxing?
I think the idea of the contact, that big man, I'm aggressive, I'm powerful, machismo type of thing. In the football world, you think that the defensive end, the linebackers, the running backs, the left tackles, the guys that have the most contact on the football gridiron would be the biggest, baddest guys in the boxing ring, but it's not true. I mean, here you are, you're talking to a quarterback who usually takes all the damage and per se, they always want to put a yellow jersey or a pink jersey on it during practice and don't touch the quarterback type of a deal. To table the turn, and I'm actually the aggressor, and I'm the big knockout puncher now. The guys in the football world believe because they can hit somebody with their shoulder or they can make a big tackle that they can throw some gloves on it and throw the legs in the ring. And it's a different story, man. Like Tyson said it best. Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Hey, one last question. That is that had you, when you were quarterbacking at Northern Colorado, if you had gotten some feedback from NFL people that you might have been like a draftee in the top 3 rounds, would you have even entertained Mr. King's offer to go into boxing?
No, not at all. Actually, that was the actual scenario. I was actually pursuing the NFL. Things didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And it turned out that Michael King was still there when the NFL door had closed. So that's why I began to venture into the boxing world. To tell you the truth, I actually started boxing with All-American heavyweights to stay in shape for football, NFL football camps. But soon enough, those doors closed, and boxing was the only thing I had. And I'm grateful for it now. God's put boxing in my life, and it's been a blessing in disguise.
And what is the spelling? The recruiter, Joe, I'm sorry, how do you spell his last name?
It's a difficult one. Joe Onwar, I believe it's O-W-N-E-R.
Okay, thank you very much. Get it.
Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We have a couple more for Dominic.
Our next question is going to come from John Cutney from the Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead.
Oh, hey, Dominic. So in 2016, you fought Anthony Joshua for the heavyweight title. Didn't go your way. Since then, you have 3 big wins by knockout. Just wondering if you can talk a bit about the journey from your first title shot to this title shot now. Specifically, if you faced any doubts along the way, if you had to, get yourself mentally back into the sport, if you ever doubted you would get back to the title picture, and what it means now to get another chance at the heavyweight title.
Yeah, people, sometimes go into depression and things like that. I'm a pretty positive, optimistic type of guy. My way of bouncing back from that title fight against Joshua was to study the film day in and day out. I watched it round after round, minute after minute. I watched it in silence. I watched it with people. I watched it without people. And I guess I can say that the quarterback background in me kind of chalk talking studying. And I wanted to see everything that I did wrong, and I didn't want to see anything I did right, because I understood that there were things that were done right, but I think there was a lot more things done wrong, and I wanted to capitalize on my learning mistakes. And that's what I did at the time. Me and my trainer, Manny Robles, went back to the drawing boards and kind of restructured my boxing skills, and we grew. And lucky enough that we were fortunate enough to have 3 big KO wins, one against Easy, one against Molina, one against Negron, and here we are back again fighting for a world title. And I'm grateful for it, because I learned a lot more from that one loss than I learned from all my wins in my whole boxing career and amateur career. So that one lifetime experience in summer of 2016 against Joshua was a lot bigger for my boxing career than anything could have been.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The last question for Dominique will come from Sean Cross from the Boxing Insider. Please go ahead.
Hi, Dominic. Thanks for taking the call. I just have one quick question. Do you see the incident that happened with Wilder and your family in the hotel lobby as motivation right now, or do you want to get beyond that so you'll be able to fight as clearly as possible when you face Wilder on the 18th?
It's been the biggest motivational tool in this last 10 weeks of camp. It's the one thing that gets me up early in the morning to run. It's the thing that gets me through the 10th and 11th and 12th rounds of sparring. It's the idea of, hey, I want to get a cheat meal, but no, hey, stay focused, let's eat this. It's definitely been a huge motivator for camp. I think I'm putting a closure to it here pretty soon. The week of the fight, it's more or less going to be the mental idea of I'm going into a heavyweight title fight to perform my best, to throw my best. I'm not going to take any of that emotion or crazy antics into the fight, because if you do that, then you've already lost the battle.
All right. Thank you very much, and all the best.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, great. That was our last question for you, Dominic. We really appreciate you taking the time to finish up your training today to be on this call. And if you have any closing comments, we will finish up your portion and then transfer over to Deontay Wilder. Dominic, any last words?
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys having me. I'm looking forward to having an explosive firework night on May 18th. The week of fight, the fight week of training next week is going to be great. That's a media workout, I believe some press conferences as well. Feeling great. Looking forward to traveling, and can't wait to get started Saturday night.
Great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Okay, media, we are going to say goodbye to Dominic Breazeale, and now we will turn our attention over to Mr. Deontay Wilder, and we're going to pause a moment and make sure we have him on the line.
Yes, ma'am.
Deontay?
1 second. Hey, Miss
Okay,
Kelly, how you doing?
Chris.
1 second.
Thank you. Okay, thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am. She ain't have it ready that morning. She didn't have it ready this morning. Hello?
Hi, Deontay.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Okay, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for joining us. The media is, we are live now. And at this time, I want to introduce everybody to the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, none other than Deontay Wilder. He is 40-0, one draw, but most importantly, he's yawning. He has 39 knockouts. He representing his hometown of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He'll be looking to make the 9th defense of his heavyweight title that he won back in January 2015. In 2018, he had two of the most exciting and memorable fights of the year in boxing. He defeated then unbeaten Luis Ortiz in March, knocking him out in the 10th round of a back-and-forth war. And then again in December, he dropped Tyson Fury twice, including in the 12th round of the clash that eventually ended in a split draw. This Saturday, May 18th, he will be defending his title for the 4th time at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And he has had knockouts in all 3 of his previous defenses there. So also joining him on the line is Shelley Finkel for any questions you might have for him. But at this time, I'd like to introduce none other than the heavyweight champ of the world, Deontay Wilder, to make his opening comments before we open it up to the press. Deontay?
Hello, guys. How you guys doing? Thank you guys for coming along. What can I say that I haven't already said? I'm excited about May 18th. It's been a long camp. It's been a hard camp. It's also been a fun camp. Very interesting as well, too. You know, I done broke myself back down to the basics, and I've invested in myself more than I've ever done in my career thus far. It's crazy. It took this point, you know, there was this opponent to allow me to break myself down and get back to the basics, because I've already stated what I want to do, and I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, just like I do all the time. With this particular fight, I'm going to make sure I do it in the worst ways possible. And that's why That's why I decided to break myself down, and I decided to invest in myself, so I make sure I do exactly what I say that I would do, but in a tense fashion, in a painful way, and on an elite level. So I'd like to welcome Breazeale to the elite level. He's never been in this level before. He thought he did with Joshua, but Deontay Wilder is a whole different beast. I come with a whole different mindset, and we all know that I come with the right hand from hell. So, you know, I'm open up to any questions.
Okay, great. Thank you. Operator, let's go ahead and open it up for some questions now for Deontay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And our first question is going to come from Keith Eidig from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
Hey, Deontay, can you elaborate on what you mean by you invested in yourself and you broke yourself down? Can you maybe tell us some of the things you did in camp that were different from before?
Well, I can start out by saying the simple thing. I started back jump roping. You know, I started back doing a lot of speed bags, doing a lot of little different things on the heavy bags. You know, most of the time, all my camps is usually consist of sparring and hitting the mitts. You know, and that's through all of them. You know, even with the Fury fight. You know, I haven't. If you go in other camps, you'll see them. You know, hitting everything, probably everything in the gym, but not I. You know, I get away with so much. I know my true ability and my talent, and a lot of these guys, you know, they only look for one particular thing, and that's the right hand, you know, anyway, you know, which that's where they go wrong, because I have so many different attributes about myself. I'm athletic, I'm agile, I'm mobile, I'm hostile. I got a heart of a lion. I am a king, you know, and other things that I've done, you know, I got different equipment. I'm purchased a lot of different equipment, you know, to enhance my body to perform, like Ultra G's, and I got a Titan, you know, strength training equipment. I got the top of the line jacuzzi for therapy, and you know, and different things like that. You know, my home in my basement, I turned it into a full gym, a personal gym, a real nice gym, and it's been amazing. You know, it's been amazing just all the way around. Really, just 24 hours of training. You know, I had got to the point where I had to, you know, stop training so hard. My doctor advised me not to train so hard because, you know, it always kept me up. I'll go to the gym and then I'll come home. Then when you have a gym at the house, it's like, and you got a fight coming up, it's nonstop thinking. So if you're thinking about the fight, your body's going to react to go downstairs and start working out or start hitting the bag or start doing a lot of things. I got massage tables here, and I got a lot of different things here that I never thought about doing in you know, before, but now, like I said, I want to bring the pain. I want to do so much damage to this guy that he's allowed me to invest in myself, something I should have done a long time ago. But, you know, it's never too late for new things, you know, and for me, it just relit my career. It relit the interest in boxing. You know, I've been through so much in this sport, you know, ups and downs, and it took all this time. It took this motivation right here. You know, it took the chaos outside of the ring and to have this, man, y'all already heard me, you know, and I mean what I say. Everything I say, I mean, and I do what I say. You know, and that's what makes me who I am. I'm the realest champion in the business, and that's where I am at this point.
Deontay, what convinced you to make these changes? Was there any one thing that made you do that, or is it a combination of things?
I owe it all to Breazeale. I owe it all to him. Okay. Like I said, I'm coming to bring the pain, man. If you don't understand nothing about that, you shall see. My actions speak louder than my words. You know, I'm not one of these guys to just talk just to hear myself talk or you know, clout chasing or, you know, just to say some stuff because I am who I am. Like, I don't waste my time. You know, I've always been like that. This ain't nothing just started because I've gotten into boxing or I became a champion. Anyone that grew up with me, anyone that's been around me would tell you when Deontay speak and say something, even my managers, my trainers, they all would tell you when this guy speak, he means it. You know, he don't say nothing just to say it. Like, he really means it. And with the things that went on outside of this ring, you know, a man coming to my city starting chaos like that and then telling a bogus story, try to show sympathy, you know, want people to show sympathy and remorse for him. I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't like that at all. He's like one of these guys that will come into your establishment and waste water on the floor and slip on it just to sue you. And, you know, you gotta get, you know, what goes around comes around. And it's May 18th. It will be my time. It's punishment time. It's judgment time, and I am the judge.
Yeah, I just have one other thing I wanted to ask you. You've long been a critic of the epidemic that is PEDs in boxing. It obviously came to the forefront with this Jarrell Miller-Anthony Joshua situation. What went through your mind when you see a guy fail 3 tests and obviously have no regard for, you know, for what he's supposed to be doing?
I mean, where do I start with it? You know, for one, I've always told people, you know, about Jarrell Miller. I've always said certain things. I know a lot of things about a lot of fighters, man, because I know the people that does it for them. And like they tell me, the doctors tell me, they're not my friend. I'm just here for the business. And that sounds about right. You know, I give out subliminal messages. I'm not a rat. I don't go around and call names out and stuff, you know, but I've been saying a lot of things. You know, one particular time I said something about Jarrell Miller. I told him, you better stop doing this and this. You know, somebody put out the video before, you know, then time finally when things happen, that's when people come, hey, why have you been saying it? I've been saying it. Why you can't believe me in the first place? You know, I'm one of the type of people that people don't believe, then I say until it happens, which is okay because it's too late. And another thing about the situation, you know, there's so many things you can say, you know, about the situation. I'm just tired of talking about it. I'll leave it as this. You know, I'm always talking about, you know, what can happen in the rings as far as, let's say, killing a man in the ring. You know, the thing about it, I can say the thing. I can say it, but his action was going to prove it. When a man is putting something in your body that gives rats cancer, that's going way too far. When you failing 3 drug tests and you injecting yourself with something, you really trying to do it. So your action is going to speak louder than my words any day. I don't know why people, you know, want to get upset when I say things when you got a man that's actually his actions finna actually show it. You know, this boxing is so so dangerous, so brutal, you know, as now because your head is not meant to be hit in the first place. And when you getting these guys doing these PEDs and stuff like that, man, this is what they're gonna do. Like I'm natural, so I feel like I have the right to speak my piece because I am the one that entering in the ring. I am the one, and my opponent is the one that's risking their lives. But when you getting guys that doing PEDs and enhancing their body to do things they're not supposed to do, shit, I don't hear no one really just criticize. I don't hear, you know, even with the organizations, when is going to be a time where somebody put their foot down and show somebody, you know, and man, there's so much stuff you can say with that, man. But, you know, like I said, man, you know, it is what it is. It's a brutal sport that we're in, and I love it. I signed up for it, so I got to suffer the consequences and deal with everything that comes behind it, and I'm here.
Thanks, Deontay.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Robert Morales from Los Angeles News Daily. Please go ahead.
Hey, Deontay, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm all right, brother. Thank you for asking. Hey, Deontay, I just have one quick one for you, man. I told Dominic just a little while ago that I thought you had become a pretty good heavyweight champion over the years, and I asked him what makes him think he can beat you. Instead of telling me what makes him think he can beat you, he went on to say, you know, I don't think anybody would agree with you that he's become a pretty good world champion. He said all you have is a right hand, and you haven't improved at all over the years, blah, blah, blah. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that what every opponent I've faced have said. You know, every one of them. If it's been 10 years, then for 10 years they've been screaming the same thing. And for 10 years, what have I been doing? I'm still here. I'm still a champion. You know, these guys, you know, it's different when you get in the ring with me. Any guy that get in the ring that have gotten in the ring with me or that gets in the ring with me, when I say get in the ring, I mean sparring partner, and the guys that have gotten in the ring with me being future opponents, they would tell you, this man is not what you think he is. You know, but it's good that people think that way. People, simple-minded people like him think that way, because when you enter in that ring and you feel that first blow, you know that you're in for a fight. My mindset is different. My mindset is so big that a spaceship can fit in it. So when that being said, you know, it's only imaginable what I can do in this sport. I am here for the long run. This is not a short run for me. I'm here for generational wealth. That's why my talent is so unique that I'm betting on myself. I'm taking the control of my career in my own hands, because I am the talent. I know what I possess. You know, a lot of these guys wish they had what I had, you know. But, you know, that's just an easy way to cop out. You know, 10 years he been doing this in the right hand, this and that. Yeah, we're going to find out. And it's not going to be long now either. We're going to find out. So he's going to realize that he's never been in a ring with a guy myself. He felt like he fought for a world title before, and he's seen that he didn't belong there in the first place. Now he's in there with a real killer, a real one that speaks his peace, and I mean what I say. Nobody's going to stop me. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, and come the 18, he's going to find out. This guy is very nervous. I know everything that he wants to do. I know it all. You know, he should be nervous, because I don't mean no good for him, all bad intentions. This is if you're a first time viewer of boxing, and I don't, you know, depends on how you feel about seeing a body on the ground or seeing blood come from somebody. You know, you're gonna be in for a treat. I hope you stick around for the next one and the next one to come, because I'm the most exciting heavyweight in the division. Period. There's no one that's more exciting than I, that bring the pain, that bring the drama as I, and I can speak it. A lot of these guys, you know, want to speak kind and soft, and you don't want to be politically correct and want to talk proper. No, I tell you how I feel in the moment of time. I feel the energy of the room. I feel the energy of myself, and I release that. And I tell you how it is. And when it's time for me to display that, I do that as well, and I do it in a great fashion.
Thanks, Deontay. I appreciate it, man. Good luck.
Yes, thank you so much.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, Deontay.
What's going on, Dan? You doing okay?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask you about this. So you have your fight next week Anthony Joshua is going to defend his titles on June 1st, and then a couple weeks after that, Tyson Fury is back in the ring in Las Vegas on June 15th. And so you're not fighting each other at the moment in terms of the three guys getting together, but I wonder, in your mind, is there any kind of competition within you to want to show the boxing public or the fans that, you know what, we're all fighting within a 30-day period roughly, and you want to be the one that shows the best performance of those three to sort of let people continue to gauge you against each other?
You know, I haven't even thought about that, Dan. Nor would I think about it after this conversation, because I know what I possess. I know who I am, and as you can see, I'm the most exciting out of all two of those guys. These guys don't bring the excitement like I bring, and Tyson Fury is the most boring one of all of us too. You know, so I think I just continue to do what I do and do what I do best, and that's knock these guys out silly. You know, I'm not in competition with none of them. You know, they're great guys, they're great fighters themselves, and I expect them to be themselves. Don't add no pressure onto it. Do what y'all guys do, and Deontay Wilder is going to do what he do.
So now, before you talked to me about this, you in your previous comments, you mentioned about taking control of your career. And I know that you have a worthy challenger, mandatory to take care of next week. But you know that everybody would like to see you in a rematch with Fury, you against Joshua. You know, Joshua maybe against Fury, given, you know, they're both from England. So what do you say to the fans who say, you know what, you have a good fight coming up with Breazeale, but we want to see all you three fight each other, you in the rematch and those other guys? How do you explain to the public why those fights are not happening at the moment?
I mean, well, it's simple. You know, if they take the time and take a deep breath and sit back and reflect on the past and what has happened, and I know we're in the present right now, and the future is bright as well too. But if you look back in the past and sit back and see what Deontay has already have tried to do, him and his team has tried to do. Let's start out with Fury first. With Fury, since Fury felt like, it was, you know, everyone got everyone got that perspective of him beating me 12 out of 10 rounds from from Showtime with Steve Farhood cards and the commentaries coming, being on Fury's side the whole way through, you know, and I worked with these guys, and they you know, bigging him up more than I. So when you get new peoples come in, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what's going on. So they're going to look for the so-called experts of the sport and listen to them. So let's start from there. They carry away with that. So if I'm a fighter and I'm thinking, hey, I beat his ass, you know, 12 out of 10 rounds, you know, my first reaction is I want an immediate reaction. If I feel like I got done wrong, you want an immediate reaction, because you know you want an immediate rematch, because you know the second rematch, man, if I beat him that wide of a margin, then shit, the rematch ain't nothing. That's going to be simple. It's going to be easy. So what we did, I said, hey, no, you didn't. I whooped your ass. I was the more aggressor. I the one came. Hey, what was the main highlight of the fight the whole night? I think we all can answer that. Is Fury getting knocked on his ass and getting back up. That was the whole highlight of the whole fight. So in that sense, I'm like, hey, I won. So I want a rematch. I want to, as a champion, instead of moving forward, I want to give you this rematch. I want to bless you. So what did he do? So if you're a guy that knows that you beating me with a wide margin, you immediately take that rematch. You don't run and get other fighters or get tuned up. So you immediately take that. Fury know I gave him a concussion. He didn't. When you get a man that don't understand how he got on the ground nor how he got up, his brain has been shook. He don't want that fight no more. He don't want to get in no more. This is the common sense of a fighter. But as a fighter, we must, you know, promote ourselves. We must carry this type of, you know, this ego of like, I'm the man and I did this and that, because we don't want people to look upon us as punks or somebody that's scared. Or whether you're a fighter, you don't supposed to be scared. Well, we're human beings as well too. So deep down inside, he knows the real reason. That's why he's fighting another guy. That's why he had the contract in his face for 5 days to a week and then signed it. And when Showtime came, when ESPN came along and all them, yeah, it sounded good because they knew I was in the back of that. They knew the rematch was coming. They wanted me on the back of that, you know. So that right there already killed his theory of trying to fight. He didn't want that fight. Or it would have been happy. I wouldn't have had to fight my mandatory. I would have went straight to Fury and then got that fly out of the way in Breazeale. with Joshua, 4 months.
Hey,
4 months.
Try to be brief on Joshua, okay? If you wouldn't mind.
Oh, most definitely. It's easy. It's easy. 4 months. We tried. 4 different occasions, maybe 5 different occasions. 12.5, 15 flat feet. He said I want 50-50. We gave that to him. Wait, no, my country deserved me to fight here, so I'm gonna fight here. So he didn't want to fight. Then the zone thought they was gonna step in and make the fight. Then they had to come back and apologize because they wasn't prepared for us. That's 4 or 5 times we tried to make the fight. Now they crying because they don't have nowhere to go. Man, hey, the fans, go back and study it. Go back and look and see who really is the king of the division, who really tried to make these fights. And when you come back, you'll find yourself being in a better place, and you'll come with peace with yourself. Thank you.
All right, I got one other question. I'm going to change gears a little bit. And the fine PR people actually sent this out, and I found it to be very interesting. The fight that you're going to have against Breazeale is going to be your 9th title defense. You're starting to sort of edge into historical names on the list of heavyweights that have made that many defenses if you're successful against Breazeale. And I'll say that it would be 9 defenses, how many Muhammad Ali made the first time he was champion. It's the number of title defenses that Mike Tyson made in his first famous title reign, and it's the number of title defenses that Lennox Lewis made in his second championship reign, which was obviously when he was at his very best. What would it mean to you to sort of put yourself in that list of guys to get to the 9th title defense in the heavyweight division?
I mean, it means a lot. It means a great deal to me. It means a lot of accomplishment. It means that I've proved so many people wrong, and still to this day, it's proving people wrong. So, it's going to be a great accomplishment, not only just to pass so many great fighters that they came before me, but to continue to go further and to be the number 1 guy, to be a hard active fighter. I still got a long way to go to what I want to do in this sport, and I will accomplish everything I set forward to doing. I'm an amazing fighter, I'm amazing talent, and I got an amazing team behind me. And with that combination, man, sky's the limit.
All right, very good, Deontay. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the 18th.
All right, baby. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we got a couple more for you, Deontay, and then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead, operator.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from Fightful News. Please go ahead.
Hi, Deontay. Thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Much has been said between the two of you in the build-up to this fight between you and Dominic Breazeale. Do you feel like this fight is a little more personal to you than maybe some of your past fights?
Oh, most definitely. Oh, man, and that's not a laugh of joy. That's an evil laugh right there. In an evil scene, the evil man got a laugh. That's my evil laugh. I think the most exciting I've been and want to hurt a man so bad was back in 2015 with Berman Stavern, and we all know what happened to him. And the second time was just play around with him, So, with this one right here, behind the story that comes behind it, people got to understand when you're dealing with Deontay Wilder. I'm passionate about what I say. I'm passionate about what I do, and what Dominic Breazeale and how he displayed himself on that night, because I put him on my card. He didn't have to be on my card. But you come to my hometown and cause this mess, and you, like I said before, you want to start this drama and act like you was the victim and your wife was the victim, and I guarantee you right now they don't even know what their kids was during that moment in time. But I can tell you where they was. They was with my brothers. They was guarding them as if those kids was mine. And I don't like it. I'm a man. I can accept my faults. I can accept my wrongdoings. But when you get a guy like him, like I said, he's a guy that'll come in your business and waste water or waste ice and slip on it and purposely and try to sue you for money. He's an opportunist, and I don't like that. So I needed this boost. As a champion of the division, I needed this boost because, like I said, I never thought about investing in myself the way I've done. To be a champion and get away with so many different things, man, it's been crazy. But now I've turned every stone over, man. This is the most exciting camp that I've ever had, in my entire life. I feel it tops all camps, and I needed this reignition in my life. I needed this extra boost because I will do what I say I'm going to do in that ring tonight. I'm a damn near try it. Guarantee you that.
You know, I know you wanted the rematch against Tyson Fury after you guys fought to a draw, and I think that I speak for a lot of people in the boxing community in saying that they wanted to see that fight, or at least were expecting to see that fight next for the both of you. Was it frustrating for you to kind of have to reset yourself and now think about preparing for other opponents that are going to be wanting to fight you, starting with Dominic Breazeale, now that it's looking like a Tyson Fury rematch is going to have to wait quite some time, if it will ever come?
Right. No, it wasn't hard for me. You know, I mean, you got to look at what I've been through. You know, like I said, I keep talking about the past. You know, you got to see what I've been through with different guys disappointing me, you know, failing drug tests, making me lose out on a lot of money and stuff like that. So I understand the business of boxing, and I know that if you have something in place 1 minute, the next minute it could be gone, just like that. You know what I mean? And once you go through this cycle and you go through it over and over again, you kind of get the understanding, a better understanding of boxing and what's to come. You know, nothing is guaranteed until to that bell ring and that guy throws the first blow. And as we can see, even when the bell rings, it ain't certain until that first blow is thrown, because we got guys that'll get out the damn ring time the bell ring. You know what I mean? So things like that has prepared me. And I understand as a fighter, you know, because I try to play two different, you know, I understand as a fighter why he made that decision. I hurt Tyson Fury very badly. I gave him a concussion. Like I said, this man had memory lost, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy for you. And as a man with a family, hey, if you need a warm-up, a tune-up to see if your marble's back in place, go do that. Take as many warm-ups you need. We understand. He said he got 3 more fights and then he out of here, and we all know why he's going to be out of here. Because shit, that one of those fights leads up to me, and I'm gonna finish it. You know, I'm gonna finish the job. You know, so I understand it all. I'm not a guy that can't understand things, even in everyday life. If someone going through something, I try to. My mind is, like I said, it's so big. A spaceship is fit in it. So when you were describing something, you're telling me something. I try to take my mind in a virtual reality and put myself in your position, and I try to look at every aspect possible and try to go and understand. So I understand why he made that decision. I understand it all. And go get healthy, because I want the best. I want the best Fury when that time comes, you know, just like I want with all these guys, because I don't want no excuse. I don't want nobody saying this and that. I'm the only fighter that can come in with damaged arms and body not feeling well and still knock you out, because I am blessed. My grandma said I was anointed by God, and what she was so right.
Thanks, Deontay. Best of luck on May 18th.
My man, thank you so much. Blessings.
Our last question is going to come from John Cudney from Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead.
Oh, hi, Deontay. So this is a question about you betting on yourself in the decisions you've made in your career. There were discussions of a Joshua fight last year. A lot of people on the internet criticized you for not taking their offer unconditionally. It didn't come together. Now, a year later, DAZN offered you a significantly bigger deal, so suddenly you look pretty smart for turning down that deal at the time. Now you turned that deal down again, so just wondering if you can talk about this topic of betting on yourself and what the plan is on your career to maximize the value you can get out of your career.
Yes, most definitely. Like I said, if anybody's going to dictate my career, it's going to be myself. I understand how it is to have a promoter and what comes in the contract of having a promoter. But when you get to a certain point and you're the talent, you're the one filling the people in the seats, and they come to see your talent, and if you have the opportunity, why not take a chance on yourself? Why not bet on yourself? And I have a smart team that educate me and guide me through, no matter what people say, about certain people, I have a wonderful team, man. Me and Shell and Jay and we started with them. We always say we started together, we're going to end together. And when we brought Al on, that even more made my team strong. So who I'm with now is who I'm going to end with. And they're guiding me all the way through. They're going to make sure that not only do I go in history, but they go in history as well as a team. And it's a blessing feeling to have such a strong team in a business that's so dirty, and that's why we said we're betting on myself. I have everything established and set for myself, my own promotion, and we're looking forward to do great things. Not only after I retire and get away from the sport, but things were going to stay alive with the promotion. We're very serious in promotion. I know a lot of guys, I got a promotion company. That sounds good, but what do you really want to do with it? And I'm in it for the long run. I think I have the talent and ability to display myself in a way that it can bring excitement, as I've already done. But the next step is to come, and outside of the ring, I think I'm going to be able to promote fighters and be able to talk about them and not about myself, and be able to really promote fighters and bring the next Deontay Wilder or the next whoever they want to be. I always tell, just like I tell my brother, I don't want you to be just like me. I want you to be better than me. I'm a type of person that even if you do better than me, I'm happy for you. And a lot of people is not like that, because some people, if you get equal to them or higher than them, that's when the jealousy and envy come. I'm not that type of person. My heart is of gold. I'm a provider. I'm a protector, and I love to see people do great, even if it's better than I.
Thank you so much, Deontay. Just quickly, if there's still a bit of time, Shelley Finkel, if you're on the call, I'm curious to hear you address the same question of Deontay Wilder betting on himself to maximize his value in his career.
Look, he is willing to take the risk both in taking low money, and he offered it for Joshua. He's willing to walk away. One of the most powerful words in the world is no. And he is strong enough to say no and believe in himself that whatever he said no to now will be worth a lot more later. And so far that has proven true, and I don't see any reason it won't be going forward. He's a very, very strong human, not physically, but mentally. And when you're with him, and he's with you. There's nothing better. People have tried to break us up. His strength of who he is he knows who was there for him, whether it be Jay or Al or myself. And that's who he sticks with. And, I'm just very proud of him and proud to be part of his team.
Okay, on that note, I think that was the last question. And what I'd like to do is ask Deontay if he has final thoughts before we hang up, and look forward to seeing you next week in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, for Fight Week. Deontay,
most
thoughts?
Definitely. Just thank everyone that's came on the phone, everyone that's listening and tuning in. May 18th is the time. I thank everyone for being patient with this little thing that we got going on in the heavyweight division. Just look at it and consider it as the excitement is back in the heavyweight division. The fire is lit. And, it's like I'm more excited than I've ever been in my career because of everything that's going on with it. So I ask people just to be patient, and what patient comes time, and we got to be able to even both out patience and time, because they all work together. You're going to get the main fights that you guys want to see. The great thing about it is that we're all still in discussion. I can understand if it was a closed door on certain teams and we're not having no discussion with nobody. Then it'll be something that really will be a laid out or drawn out thing. But everyone is still in the discussion and talking, and it's just going to take a little time. But I just tell people, the fans of boxing, people that's coming in boxing, everyone just to have patience. The big fights are going to happen. And that when the big fights happen, that Deontay Wilder is involved in it. Because most of these guys, they live by the motto of less risk with higher rewards. But we've known that I took high risk with low rewards, and that but we've gotten smarter. We've proven ourselves, and we've doing our own thing. Like I said, we're betting on ourselves, and when I bet on myself, you're gonna get great response. You're gonna get great shows out of me, and I'm looking forward to May 18th. So I see you guys there. And I'm looking forward to you guys. And I also want to announce my new clothing line. I got it coming out that'll be sold, online. You look out for that at bombsquad.com. We got a DeontayWilder.com as well, too. We redid everything up. That way you can have your gear ready for May 18th and support me like none before, baby. So I'm ready to go. Let's do it, baby. And
all right. On that note, we are going to wrap this call up. And, Medio, you will be receiving your Fight Week schedule tomorrow, so stand by for that. And any questions, feel free to call my company or Showtime or anybody else available on the PR team, willing and ready to take your questions. Thanks so much, Deontay. See you in a couple days.
All right, baby. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this completes your conference call. You may all disconnect and have a great day.